I know it's easy to say in retrospect, but often I sit thinking, was it the right decision to sell Andy White when we did? Of course, he is playing for Leicester now, an England international who, well, for consecutive seasons has double-figure Premier League goals. We sold him for 10 million to Burnley once upon a time. Was that a mistake? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, today is episode number 60 of Park to Prem. Today, we have a triple header, one of those games of which is against Andy White's Leicester. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Yes, folks, I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Welcome back, as I've already said, to Wanderers FC. We are wandering, slowly but surely, potentially, into a European football spot. But today, we are going to be tested by Man City away. We then have Leicester, who actually themselves are up in 8th place. And then to conclude things today, the EFL Cup quarter-final against Arsenal. Yeah, I know we did Arsenal last episode. We got them in a Carabao Cup quarter-final. In this save game, we've not really gone on a cup run in years. I would quite like to win the Carabao Cup. Appreciate this game isn't easy. Now, since last episode, 6 games played in the league, 1 in the cup as well. That was an EFL Cup game, which, spoilers, we won. Right now, we're up in 5th. Now, in terms of this run of fixtures, it started off with a 3-0 win against Fulham. We did, however, succumb to a defeat 3-1 at Anfield. Not entirely surprising there. Bit disappointing that we couldn't hold on and show a bit more defensive resilience, but that is our only defeat in our recent run of games. To be fair, we did have a little bit of a scare in the EFL Cup 4th round as it went to a penalty shootout where we missed our opening penalty, but Caleb Addons came up clutched. West Brom missed 3 penalties in the shootout, and this man here, who now has 20 aerial reach, got man of the match here. That is right, 20 aerial reach on Caleb Addons. He is massive. And we kept that momentum going with a nice 5-1 win against Aston Villa. I feel like we frequently get the better over them. One team we don't seem to do that with is Brentford. And whilst we did win this game, and it was a 4-3 result, it wasn't the most convincing. Sheldon picked up man of the match with a hat-trick of assists in this one. He was really, really good. I suppose the reason this result is a little displeasing is the fact that right now, Brentford are rock bottom of the league. So it definitely felt like the kind of game that should have been more comfy. Sadly, we did drop points against Chelsea. A 1-1 draw at home definitely felt like points dropped. They had 1 shot on target. It was Rodrigo who had it. It was a good finish. We bounced back rather soonish into the first half and managed to draw level. A really nicely worked goal, if I might say so myself. But sadly, we really couldn't keep the momentum going. Rashid Mohammed, great to see him get on the score sheet, but we couldn't do much more. And Diogo Costa, who was in goal for them, yeah, he got man of the match. And most recently, a Scorigami scoreline, I think, 6-3 against Everton. We have had this scoreline before. It's not a Scorigami. Some people don't know what a Scorigami is. Essentially, it's an unusual scoreline in the context of this. Nicky Meredith playing against his former club, though, in Everton. Of course, we signed him for £31 million. In this game, he got a hat-trick. He also got 2 assists. He absolutely ran the show. And this result here, our most recent one, a good result. I will say, we have conceded a couple of goals, haven't we? 3 goals conceded against Liverpool, 3 goals against Brentford, 3 goals against Everton, particularly the latter two teams towards the bottom of the table, teams that I feel like perhaps we should be doing better against. As I already mentioned, we are currently up in 5th as we rapidly approach the halfway mark. Today's games aren't going to be easy. Up first is Man City, who have been very resurgent lately, and then we have Leicester. I really mocked Man City, you might remember, I think it was the last episode, for the fact they were struggling so much. Since then, they've gone on an absolute murderous spree. In fact, they've not lost in the Premier League since they lost to Arsenal back in September. It's now December. They didn't lose all of last month. And of course, whilst I mocked them for the fact they don't have Erling Haaland anymore, they do have this bloke called Endrick that you might have heard of. He is also quite good in Football Manager. I will say, he's not getting like 40 goals a season, so he's not Haaland levels. He is good though, isn't he? Now, before we hop into today's game, some fun individual news. I think it's safe to say a couple of our players are now fully fledged England internationals. Gavin Wallace picked up his first cap for the national team, age 21. Really pleasing moment for him. And the other man, probably not so much of a surprise, Marcus Sheldon finally getting a cap. Sadly, he couldn't follow up that debut with a goal. Nevertheless, when you look at the England national team setup, it's fun, isn't it, to see a couple of Wanderers names in there. And in fact, if we look at the under-21s, there's a couple of Wanderers players in here. There's more of our players in on loan at various clubs, including Matthew Miller, who's playing for the under-21s. Admittedly, he's been injured lately. His loan spell hasn't been a rousing success just yet. Anyway, I did figure since today was episode 60, we should do something special. A triple header felt like the order of the day, and it's going to kick off with this game here against Manchester City. In a little bit of team news, you may have noticed the roaming playmaker experiment is dead. I have gone back to playing Carl Flood as a regista. You can see his statistics as a defensive midfielder in the last 20 games. We played him at roaming playmaker for 10 games, averaged a 6.6 rating. His performances at the end of last year at regista were much more fruitful. In hindsight, it is one of those things where you think, why did I change the role? We're back with a regista now. Let's hope he can go back to his previous form. Elsewhere in the team, a man who's making a little bit of a name for himself is Bernard Brennan. He isn't going to start this game, and to be fair, he has been on a bit of a meh run of form. But nevertheless, 3 goals for this man is a really pleasing return for a player who really we're just using as a super sub. Did, off the back of a few appearances where he got goals, decide to give him starts. Didn't really repay the faith in those ones, sadly, which means for today's game, it is the old faithful. It's going to be Sheldon, Meredith and Lancashire as the front three. The rest of the team is very much full strength. Hatswell continuing to perform and continuing to hold down a spot in the centre of the team. Right now, he is quickly looking like he could be a future wonder kid. Well, no, he is already a wonder kid. He's looking like he could be a future star. He has so many attributes in the 15s in the mentals column. As soon as those hit 16s and his balance as well, he's going to look like such a more, well, scary player. Maybe it's just me. Once you see a number of the yellow attributes, a player just looks better instinctively, I think. Anyway, we're going to get into this game here. Man City in some crazy good form. Of the games today in the league, at least, not necessarily one I expect to win. I do feel like this season I'm falling into the trap of coming back and doing lots of matches where maybe we're not back to win in the hopes of causing an upset and making myself look really, really smart. It's one of the reasons why we're doing the Leicester game today. I'm hoping that if I can beat them, I can reclaim some faith, even if we were to fail to win against both Man City and Arsenal, which, let's admit it, we go into these kind of games as underdogs in. But you know what? Despite the fact we're underdogs, we are going to play the attacking free striker system and hope it works out in our favour. As well, early on, Man City bringing the ball forward. In the opening plays of game, Man City have dominated the ball, but we've won it in a dangerous area here. Sheldon drifting wide as that complete forward. Options inside. Meredith is one of them. He grabs us a goal, and that, my friends, is a fantastic start in this one. A crossover, I think it's 6 or 7 previous meetings against Man City in this save game. We have never beaten them. Now, I'm not insisting or suggesting we could do it now. I just want to set the scene. I'm trying not to jinx it. That's not the one. This is an uncharted territory we now find ourselves in. We have got a long time to hold on. And Lancashire's gone and got bloody injured. Well, Rashid Mohammed comes in. What injury is this? Potential foot injury. That is less than ideal. Lancashire's actually been quite good in our last few games. Forced into a sub 10 minutes into this game, Rashid Mohammed, the man who's going to come in with his green headband in the 3D match engine. That is the source of his powers and his goal-scoring ability, if you were wondering. That, by the way, is official law of Wanderers FC. Anyway, Zaire Emery's bringing it forward. Lumo now with possession. Dorrington steps up really nicely and puts in a one tackle, but well, the ball is still very much under Man City's spell now, and it's Nuama in the wide area, looking for options inside. Zaire Emery to Varela. Smith-Rowe. That's just a really good goal, isn't it? The finish, very tasty. I was going to say that Emil Smith-Rowe was served this on a plate, but to be completely honest with you, he had a lot to do in this situation here when the ball found its way to him. Back to goal, hits it on the swivel. Anson might have 20 area reach. He wasn't reaching that one. Batarina, free kick, takes it well for Man City. We get it away initially, but Rico Lewis is going to mop up the pieces and keep this attack alive. Players queuing up in the middle for Man City are plenty. Varela at the edge of box's turn provider once already. Zaire Emery to Langengo, who could have a shot from range. Also, I've just made a pronunciation for his name. Nuama shoots. Anson holds. Breathe a sigh of relief. Apologies to Logello here. I just saw your name and panicked, mate. Didn't mean to say it wrong. Even though you're not a real person, I'm going to apologise. He looks scary in the picture. He also looks scary at these attributes. He's literally the world's greatest wingback. How much did they pay for him from West Ham? 56 million. I feel sick. Sheldon with a corner for us, whipping it to the back stick. Men under it. One of them is Dorrington, and that is his 5th goal of the season. We are back ahead in this one. I know I talked about it at the start of the season, the idea of mixing and matching our set-piece routines that little bit more than we had been. We are still, of course, primarily aiming towards the back post, as you saw there, and it's worked out wonders. Half an hour into this game, 2-1 to the good. We are very much matching, I feel like, Man City like for like in this game so far. We've had 3 shots on target to their 3 shots on target, having significantly less of the ball, but that is kind of the name of the game. We want to catch them on the break and overwhelm them with numbers. When we run forward like this, Meredith finishes it. I think he's offside. It would be a Hatswell assist and a 10th goal of the season for Meredith, but yeah, this one is going to be ruled out. I think he's gone just a second too early. VAR will confirm it. I'm wondering it. You're wondering it. How close was this? Not really. Nice finish. That's all I can really say. I mean, last episode, we lost 2-1 against Tottenham and against Arsenal. Good news, everyone. We're not going to lose 2-1 again here because currently we're 2-1 up. But I'll tell you what, with 55 minutes left and extra time across 2 halves to be played. Would not surprise me if we see... Well, I was going to say more goals. Ajaria's delivered that. That's not why he's on the pitch. That's fine with me. It's his second of the season. Will the Ajaria commenters who hate on him please stand up? He is not the fan favourite that once he was. Some people think, like, I hold too much sentimental value, but... I mean, that is one hell of a finish, isn't it? Not bad for your right back. Longello, I'll get his name correct this time, gives it to Varela. Of course, Man City now going to be looking to clap back instead, though. We've dealt with that kind of well. I'll be honest, Henderson at right centre-back there hasn't exactly relieved the pressure with that clearance. And now Rico Lewis bringing it forward for City. Nuama to the edge of the box. Longello lays it to Varela, who shoots, hits the woodwork. Arian B, great defensive header, gets it away from danger. Just a couple of minutes left of this first half. At this point, I want to get in at the break ahead. 5 minutes of added time. Clearly, that injury to Lancashire might not be a minor one if that was how long it took them to get him off the pitch. I feel like based on this XG story, we deserve to be ahead, and the scoreline reflects that. There's part of me that's really, really tempted to go to the more defensive system and to change things up. They're making some subs here, actually. Man City to change things up. Longello, with the ball, is now playing in a more advanced area. Gives it away, but Man City win it back well. Hendricks is on the pitch for Endrick, who they've dropped. There's a few unfamiliar faces in the Man City team that I'm going to check out after this highlight to get an idea of how full of a strength team are they playing against us here. I don't think they're underestimating us, and, well, we might be underestimating them, because having gone 3-1 up, I've not taken my foot off the gas, and they're bringing it forward here. Timber to Longello, who is quite quick, as we've already established. He keeps it alive. Timber inside Batarina, tackled once, falls to Zaire Emery, and he thinks he's playing for the French national rugby team there. He's squared it between the posts. So Hendricks is the striker for Man City. He doesn't seem that scary. Hopefully he doesn't score now. The other man I was curious about was this man called Emre Can Terzi. Is he a big fan of Emre Can, the footballer? Potentially. He's quite a good left wing back. I'll be honest. He's not as good as I was fearing. Quickly approaching the hour mark here. I'm going to make some subs. Wallace hasn't been at his best and he's also on a booking. Adam May on you come. Elsewhere in the team, I feel like fresh legs are the order of the day. Carl Flood off. Joe McHugh on. McHugh has been in some really good form lately, continuing to develop well, the 19-year-old. Suppose it's a testament to his ability. I'm willing to trust him and bring him on in a game like this one. I probably will make some more changes sooner rather than later. I'm thinking Gallagher might come in for Hatswell, and then I might move McHugh to Segundo Volante, but I just want to stagger these subs out a little bit. Don't want to upset things by changing the shape, the system, the personnel too soon. But with 20 minutes left, you know what? I'm going to make that second set of changes. McConnell, I kind of want to bring on at right wing back, but I'd forgotten about the injury sub we were forced to make. I know I made 5 subs last episode and got away with it. I don't want to dance with the Football Manager devil too, but choosing all my subs too soon. Okay, 5 minutes left of this second half. This has not been a classic second half, but that is kind of the order of the day. I'm kind of going into this match with the mindset of the best defense is to continue to play on the offensive and try and pen them back when we do have these chances to break away. And, well, Ajaria is looking to do just that, although on this occasion he has lost out possession, the goal scorer. And now there's a big gap in the middle of our team. Well, we need to get things sorted. Zaire Emery's bringing this forward uncontested. We're inviting forward. Longello is played so far clear here at the front. They have caught us out on the attack. And I'll be honest, that just looks naive from us, doesn't it, there? That is one of the most open I've ever seen our team at any point in any match ever. I mean, what is the defensive shape here? What are we doing? I mean, it looks like we're playing a 4 at the back. I can assure you we're not. And that is concerning. I know what's going to happen here. If I concede a goal now, people are going to tell me, why did I change things? If we win this game, no one will utter a comment. I'm going to the more defensive containy system just to try and see out this game. We're going to switch to cautious mentality. Meredith's going to drop in. And we are just going to try and ride out the last 5 minutes of this game against Man City. If I don't concede here, no one comments on anything. If I do concede here, someone will say, why didn't you stay on the front foot? And they may well have a good question that I can't answer. Longello is bringing it forward. Let's hope I don't have to answer the question. Meredith, I thought he'd given away a penalty. It falls to Malo Gusto. His shot hits the crossbar. It falls to Zaire Emery. And it's 3-3. And I'm in pain. Not even watching the replay, I'm going back on the attacking system. What kind of moron goes to play contain against Man City away? Of course you're just meant to stay on the front foot. That's how you play Football Manager. Oh dear. Can you tell I'm annoyed? The nature of the goal's frustrating as well. It's a rebound from a speculative long shot that just falls straight to Zaire Emery. There's still 8 minutes left in this game. I'm going to shout demand more. I'm going to hope for a miracle. And maybe that miracle can be delivered here. Dramatic camera pan to Ajaria. Don't know what the game's doing there. Let's not question it. McHugh to Ajaria. Gallagher. Oh my word. McHugh in behind the centre mid. The youngster tucks it away for his first goal of the season. And oh my word, it's his first Wanderers goal, and what a time to get it. That's why I brought him into the team. That's why he was ahead of Gallagher in the pecking order when I looked at subs. The youngster has looked great this year when we brought him on, and he's popped up with another massive moment. What a time to get your first goal. I'm not going on cautious now. I've learnt my lesson. Football Manager, please just end the game. Not that I'm begging with the game. I am now begging with the game. A win here would be crazy. A win here is what we are going to get, ladies and gentlemen. It is 4-3 to the Wanderers at Etihad. The Etihad. It is our first ever time beating Man City. What a way to do it. With that result there, we close the gap on Man City to 2 points. We sit on 28 points. We were only 2 points behind the team in second in Tottenham. Maybe we're not that bad after all. Lancashire is going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. That is frustrating, but we are blessed with some pretty nice attacking talent, so maybe it could be worse. In some other good news, by the way, Shea Salmon has been playing for the England under-21s. He's developing really well as a goalkeeper. I'm not sure he's going to be competing with Anson in the immediate future, but I could see it in a season or two for our hot prospect. That result there, by the way, makes it 5 matches unbeaten. Sheldon picks up man of the match with 2 more assists. He really is thriving as that complete forward. He is able to not just score, but also turn provider. He did it on a number of occasions there. That result sets us up nicely as we rapidly approach Christmas. Our next game is a home game against Leicester in the league. They're in 8th. This one ain't going to be easy. Xavi Alonso's men are playing well. We got to try and shut them down. Okay, folks, game number 2 today. Early kickoff, Fulham beating Chelsea 1-0. Of course, Chelsea narrowly avoided relegation last year. This year, they have been a much better side towards the bottom. Burnley, Swansea and Coventry struggling a hell of a lot. The newly promoted teams not faring so well, although Brentford, who have been down the bottom for the last few years, as already mentioned, they are struggling. 1 win all year. That was against Coventry for them. As for ourselves, Leicester flying high in 6th all of a sudden, 1 point behind us. This might be a more difficult game than I'm letting on, especially because for today's game, Lancashire's unavailable, but elsewhere, Dorrington is suspended. He has been our best centre-back, I think it's safe to say, and another player who may well have featured is Brennan, especially with the injury now to Lancashire. I was hoping Brennan would be available. He got injured, as you can see here, against Arsenal's under-21s a week ago. He's still out. So in terms of the starting 11 for today's game, Henderson is going to play in the heart of the defence with Roke off to the right-hand side. Elsewhere, obviously, Lancashire injured means Rashid Mohammed is going to come in on the bench. Does mean when it comes to strikers, we're a little light on options. In terms of strikers we could bring on, Joe McHugh, I suppose, could technically play at striker if we need him to. Jobe Bellingham could be a striker option if we need him to be. Or alternatively, perhaps most likely, Rudy Shirtliff could come on and play at striker. Worth noting, a few of these players were playing in the under-21s team just yesterday. As a result, they are lacking a little bit of condition. Ideally, our 3 strikers here perform. The options on the bench certainly aren't looking the best. Andy White is on the pitch. I repeat, Andy White has been spotted in Leicester colours, and I have to readjust in my chair and get comfy and brace myself for heartache I might endure today. They are playing, as you can see, their 3 striker system. Already, it is a 1 striker system with 2 attacking mids, but it's not that dissimilar to our system in terms of how it's going to function in shape. We need to be wary of it, and well, Xavi Alonso's men have won the ball in a dangerous area. It was Andy White who started this attack. Eze now with possession at the edge of the box. It's a drizzly day here at Brisbane Road. Wallace heads this away, but that is, well, not really relieving the pressure all that much. Leicester continuing to boss the ball. I did notice in the league stats, they have a lot of possession, Leicester, in the matches they play. They like to have the ball. They like to work it nicely. We are quite different in that regard. We want to win it in dangerous areas and then attack quickly with men, and we're going to do that here. Mohammed, Meredith, lovely build-up play between the 3 strikers, and that, my friends, is a lovely finish. He was denied his 10th goal of the year last year due to offside, or last match due to offsides. I've really ruined the commentary in this moment. Meredith scored, let's be happy. There's times in commentary where I think, should I just redo that bit? You know, I can just fake a reaction for the goal. No, you know what? We do it live. I'm not perfect, as hard as it might seem. Right, a goal to the good 15 minutes in. Let's hope that the team performance continues to be a step above my commentary today. Rashid Mohammed with the back heel to Ajaria. The right back got a goal last game. There, an awful pass. And now, well, Andy White holding up the play. Pagano surging forward here for Leicester. Options to his right, options to his left. Goes back inside. Eze to Oliver Skip. Jarrell Quansah in the heart of their defence. Once upon a time, a Park to Prem legend, Pagano, in behind, squares it, Andy White's shot is blocked. I didn't enjoy that. You know what? I'm going to praise the players here because we've got ahead early. I want a good positive set of smiley faces to hopefully help us deal with this next opportunity. Eze to take the corner. Whips it in. Quansah with not the best of headers. And Wallace should now just be able to run this away from danger and relieve the pressure. Leicester having a lot of the ball in this game, but they're yet to have a shot on target in it. They are struggling to create anything, and that is, well, a pretty pleasing thing to be able to say so far, although matches can change quickly. Anson called into action there, although it was a straightforward save. And with just over 10 minutes left of this first half, a goal here for either team could radically change the complexion of this tie. Hatswell gives it to Rashid Mohammed. Ajaria is on the overlap. Hatswell hasn't seen him, but has seen Meredith, who I think is offside here. I'll tell you what, if Meredith knew the offside rule, he'd score a lot more goals. VAR's going to check this. My heart tells me it's offside. My head tells me it's offside. The linesman tells me it's offside, and so does VAR. It was actually quite a nice move. Hatswell's ball here was good. I'll tell you what, it's closer than I let on, isn't it? That was not a bad run by Meredith, really. The finish at the end of it, annoyingly good. And that offside goal is looking like it's going to be the last bit of action here in the first half. 1 goal to the good. Going to tell the players we're winning. But let's not let the performance levels drop. I want to avoid complacency, a good reaction there. I think into the second half we march. No subs needed at half-time. Chances few and far between. Almost an hour played. Let's get some fresh legs into the team here. Flood having another kind of poor game. I gave Flood that big wage rise, didn't I, in the summer? Safe to say, he's not really justified it so far. Look at this bar of just yellow average ratings. It's not great. Gallagher's going to come in. You know what? McHugh I want to bring in, but then I realised because he played in the under-21s, his condition just isn't there. Niall Townsend for Ajaria feels like a sensible move to make. Townsend looking like a really good, solid right wing-back option for us. He's been picking up the position quickly. In the final third, this is the kind of game where maybe I'd ordinarily take off Sheldon, who struggled perhaps. I just don't have the options on the bench to do that today. Also, why are the lights behind me changing? Have they been doing that all video? I'm checking the app for the lights. I love my lights behind me, but why is there a rave? Okay, turns out I have no answers to the questions I seek. If the lights start going crazy behind me again, or maybe they've been doing it all video, I'm not having a rave. Or maybe we are. Maybe we should be having a rave. We're about to win 2 games in a row in the league. We're going to have a party. Anson with it. I hope that's not too distracting on video, the lights. Rolk, what can we do here? Gives it to Townsend. He plays inside. Meredith, great touch off the chest. Sadly, Christensen read it. And Suamare is now going to give it, well, forward for Leicester. Wallace, though, latches onto the loose ball. Could he turn provider, Wallace? No, he shoots, and I'm not sure why. I've investigated the lights. I don't know what's going on. They've stopped now, so I guess everything's fine. Niall Townsend with a throw-in on the near side. The right wing-back's suddenly been involved in all the play since coming on off the bench. He gives it to Hatswell. Rolk is now the man in possession. Our right centre-back finds Gallagher, who shoots speculatively from range and, well, surrenders possession in a needless way, it has to be said. Andy White looking to hold up the players dispossessed. We are going to go all the way back to Anson. 10 minutes left in this game. We've been the better team, but we have to get the job done. We need to see this out. I suppose a goal here would just help ease my nerves, and maybe even the players' nerves just a little. So we work the ball forward, but sadly, the chance is denied. And now it's Leicester looking to build it out from the back, trying to beat that initial press of the 3 strikers. And it has to be said, they've done it quite well there. Fatawu bringing it forward into the wider area, knocking it around confidently here, Leicester. We are chasing shadows, or rather, there would be shadows if it wasn't for the fact it's a rainy, sunless day here down in London. Christensen plays it inside. Andy White shoots. And he scores. He has scored a lot against me since I sold him. If there was going to be a man who scored against me, it was going to be Andy White. I paused as he scored, thinking maybe the flag will be raised for offside. The flag was not raised. Anson, he might have 20 jumping reads. You still can't apparently make a save straight at him. Right, I do have subs that I can make in this game. I'm going to make them. Rudy, on you come. Going to play him on the right-hand side. Mohammed has a slightly better left foot. Elsewhere in the team, Joe McHugh, who won us the game last time, is going to come in the middle. And you know what? Adam May on Ucum. I'm going for this game. I've had enough. Townsend and May are going to play as wingers on attack. We are already going to commit men forward here and try and get a win. Is it a gamble? Yes. Is it one worth taking? I'll let you decide. We need to try and overwhelm Leicester to end out this game. 4 minutes of added time are going to be added on. And sadly for either team, no further chances. A draw, perhaps a fair score. Andy White, man of the match. I'm in pain. I am in pain. I'm looking at that value thinking, I want to be able to afford that. I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford that, folks. I need to bring him back somehow. He is wanted by Arsenal and Chelsea, and I am acutely aware he has a minimum release clause to clubs in European competitions, the Champions League, of 63 million. If those teams can afford that, they should be paying that. That is a bargain. 1-1, perhaps not the worst result in the world. At home, I'd like to win that kind of game, especially off the back of the previous win. But Leicester, they're in 6th. They are not a bad team. We're in 5th. I think the results today in the league prove we probably deserve to be in the European spots. Our unbeaten run goes on for what it's worth, and we're going to hope we can keep it going in the next one. It's the Carabao Cup. Arsenal, never an easy game. They beat us 2-1 last episode. We're going to try and upset them and get a win this time. So I'll be honest, I was getting ready to celebrate the fact that Dorrington was back in the team today. I feel like I jinxed it just a little bit. Of course, the centre-back was out suspended for the last game. As I celebrated his return, Brian Henderson went and got the flu. I had the option to keep him at the club, use the club doctor, or send him home. I've decided to send him home. The last thing I need is a mini pandemic spreading through my entire team. Of course, we are taking on Arsenal today, so having a full-strength team probably would have been nice. Especially because when it comes to past meetings, we've never beaten them. 5 defeats in 5 games against Arsenal. Let's try and change it today in the Carabao Cup. With the exception of the changes at centre-back, the team selection is the exact same as the previous game. We rested up players. They're ready and raring to go, and I'm going to hope they can deliver the result we need here, a win. If you were wondering, Arsenal playing a full-strength team in this game, including Van Persie's son, who now tears it up for Arsenal. He is quite good. If I'm not mistaken, he is partially English. He is. He was born in London. Maybe there's a world where I sign him, although at the moment, probably can't afford those wages, can I? Okay, 15 minutes into this Carabao Cup quarter-final. Of course, the semi-final is over 2 legs. I know what we'll be doing for next episode if we're able to win here. It does feel like a bit of a big if, but to cap off what's been a largely successful triple header, our result here would be super nice. Ajaria to Sheldon. Headers it just off target. If you were wondering, by the way, Arsenal's goalkeeper's in the Media Dream 11. Joãozinho, he's Brazilian. He's absolutely insane. He's not the tallest goalkeeper, to be honest. His aerial reach isn't that good. Everything else about him is mad. They signed him for £9 million. Imagine if I could sign non-English players that good for £9 million. I'd be laughing. Anyway, speaking of the devil, Joãozinho taking the goal kick for Arsenal here. They're going to look to play it out from the back, of course. We got beaten by Arsenal 2-1 last episode. In that game, I started with a more cautious system, then went more attacking. In this game here, none of that cautious nonsense. We're playing on the front foot from the off. 20 minutes played. We've had 8 shots. They've had 2. We've had more of the ball. I say that. They've now had more of the ball. It's very even in terms of possession. Sadly, we're not seeing any highlights for all the ball we're having and all these shots we're having. Although maybe that can change here. Rashid Mohammed, with his green headband, holding up the play and giving it back to Hatswell. Rolk now with the ball is going to look to lay it across. He gives it to Hatswell, back to Rolk, all the way back to Anson in goal. And now Dorrington looking to launch something perhaps through the middle. Options to his left. Sheldon. Wallace looking for the overlap as well. Really nice build-up play here. Back to Sheldon. Lovely build-up play. The shot hits the outside of the post and goes wide. Rapidly approaching the end of this first half. Not a whole lot of highlights to speak of. Arsenal yet to have a shot on target. From a defensive point of view, magnifique for us. Offensively, B could do better. Probably lower than a B. I think I'm being generous with a B grade. Look at the XG story. The story of the half, though, is no goals for either team. Now, much like last game, sadly, I don't really have options for strikers on off the bench just due to the injuries and the players that are missing. I'm looking at Sheldon, Meredith and Mohammed to be the 3 musketeers and fire us on our way, as we're going to have a set piece here that's whipped to Dorrington. He scored one earlier today. That one he couldn't keep down. And now from the resulting goal kick, Arsenal are going to look to make something happen. A second half where neither team could find a breakthrough. Is that going to change here as we win the ball in a dangerous area? Flood nodded it down to Sheldon. That's an awful back pass. And Meredith's missed another chance. Did that hit the outside the post again? I think it might have done. Wirtz now with a free kick. Not like this, Football Manager. That was not far wide. It's all action all of a sudden to start this second half. Anson giving it to Rolk. And now, well, we could be in for a little bit more action here. Is there finally going to be a goal? It feels like it's coming. This game is heating up. That ball there, I thought for a moment was going to be one that Wallace could latch onto. Instead, Cabana mops up the pieces. We press initially, but he's able to pick out Sammy Lokonga, although they've lost the ball. Rashid Mohammed is denied by Joãozinho in the net. Okay, you know what? Our played making changes here. Adam May on you come at left wing back. Ajari has not actually played that badly today. Hatswell not been at his best. Joe McHugh, the saviour of last game, on you come. Rashid Mohammed off. Rudy Shirtliff, come on down and just sprint quickly, mate. That is his game plan. He runs. 3 very different matches today. We had a goal bonanza against Man City. The Leicester game, I feel disappointed about losing. This game here, we've dominated, but we just can't find a breakthrough. There is 20 minutes left here. I'm going to demand more. They've still not had a shot on target. Should point out as well, if the scores are level with 10 more minutes played, not extra time, this game goes straight to penalties. And in terms of penalty options, we don't have that many good ones. In fact, over the course of this game, we've lost more penalty shootouts than I think we've won quite comfortably. So getting things wrapped up here would be great. Jairzinho makes another save. He can't keep getting away with it. We have now got a chance potentially from a corner. Sheldon is going to be the man to take this one and whip it in towards their post. Shirtliff was under it. It's dealt with. There's 3 minutes left. We've been all over them in this game. I don't know if you clocked the match momentum chart between highlights. It is all in our favour. We can't find a way through until now. Shirtliff with his 3rd goal of the season. Mr. Carabao himself. It's his 3rd goal in this competition. And that might end up being the winner. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't big, it wasn't even that good, but 2 subs linking up for us. May having his day at left back, and Shirtliff tucks it away. Good news for us as well. Didn't lift up his shirt, didn't get a yellow card. I mentioned the match momentum. Look at that. If we had not scored there, I'm fuming. Imagine if we now still don't win this game. We are going to win it. I don't need to imagine it. Blow the whistle, referee. Wanderers are into the EFL Cup quarter-final. And we've knocked out Arsenal. It's our first time beating them. Oh, today's been a good day, hasn't it? I feel like in a Football Manager save game like this one, as you enter the Premier League, there comes a turning point, and it's a season where you start to actually get wins and get results against some of the big teams. And whilst you're not doing it consistently, you're doing it enough to cause an upset and find yourself towards the top of the table. That is what we're doing this year. I know this game wasn't a league game, but it kind of very much reflects the buoyant mood I'm feeling right now. Unbeaten now in 8 games. EFL Cup semi-final awaits. Both those games coming in January. Both those games coming tomorrow. Now, I do want to find out who we're going to play in that game if I can. It has my interest. When is the EFL Cup draw? It's not showing on the calendar. I'll hit continue a few times. We might just have to leave it as a mystery. Or rather, you know what, scratch that. The draw is ready to be made now. Leeds, Man U, Tottenham. If I'm being honest, Leeds United of the Championship, probably my preferred opposition. Okay, start the draw. Wayne Rooney, the ceremonial host. Leeds United will play. Please be us. Please be us. We wait with bated breath. Tottenham, we've got Manchester United. Wayne, I'm not happy with what you've done to me there, mate. You have fucked me. Pardon my French. Sorry if you're watching at home, mum. Confirmation, yeah, semi-final, Man U, 2 legs. Not going to be easy. That's tomorrow's plan. We will be doing those 2 games against Manchester United in the middle of January next time out. The transfer window will be open, and whilst we're lacking wage budget, maybe with adjusted season expectations, we'll have some money to spend too. Thank you so much for your support on this series. 60 episodes of any series is kind of wild, and every kind of time we hit a big landmark of 10 episodes, I like to do something special. Hope you enjoyed the triple header today, and I hope to see you tomorrow for more. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys next time. I'm out.